Hey, you know what? On this video, we are going to be doing something very different. We are going to be unboxing the SML Wars Blitzway Spacecraft version toy. Hello folks, Danoby2 here. Thank you for joining me once again on another visual tour. This is the Spacecraft version SML Wars made by Blitzway in partnership with a Sticky Monster Lab. If you haven't figured out, SML stands for Sticky Monster Lab. So from what I've gathered from this establishment is that it's more of a art house type designer studio. They make these designer type figures and toys, and they partnered up with Blitzway, and they decided to make this awesome, very unique, very different toy. But this is like no toy you've ever seen before, though. This is a fancy art style designer toy. I bought this mainly for one reason, and it is the Spacecraft, the UFO style egg-shaped vehicle. The astronaut looks it's very different. It's more like a little Eggman wearing an astronaut uniform, which doesn't bother me as much, but it was clearly the spaceship. And I like this little lenticular card there that gives details on the spacecraft, the astronaut, and all the accessories. It's very, very cool. Very like that. And something sticky. When I opened it up, there was some sort of like foam residue. But anyway, instructions, little collector art style lenticular card there that shows the ins and outs of the space soldier, I want to say is what it is. Spacecraft versions, SMLRs, little detail there on there. I just think it's cool. The whole design of it, the whole egg shape, the little astronaut. I found it very different, very, very cool. I'm not I know the company is Korean based, and they have more characters that are designed with this style, this type of egg shape style of a little man. But it's what Blitzway did with this Spacecraft that has me intrigued. I didn't go too much into the details when I pre-ordered this. I pre-ordered this through Big Bad Toy Store. They're sold out. It was more of that it illuminated. The little astronaut would fit inside this little egg spaceship. Looks more like an escape pod. Oh, look at that. That's probably where the Nava computer is accessed. Look at that. That's neat. Like I said, I forgot about this. Is probably about a year old pre-order. It was mainly the spaceship, and I remember that the spaceship lit up, and it had all these little compartments on there. That's cool. That's very neat. And just kind of exploring onto it, and I guess I should be reading the instructions, but you saw what I did. I ran straight towards the spaceship, the little space pod there. And how do you pop it open? You can see those little landing struts there, and little LED lights there, so I would assume it's gonna glow or power up. Alright, so let's get these landing struts open here. It reminds me of an escape pod. It really does. It really does. Little astronaut there does light up. I did not know that. I did not know that the arms were magnetic. I thought for a second there I broke it, but it's strong magnets. It's kind of cool. You can access articulation and posability on there, so that's neat. And I want to say that the elbow joints are magnet. No, they're not. They are more of a peg joint on there, and you are able to swap out the hands. So I'm going to give this little astronaut dude here some little mobility. It's different. It's different. This is I'm going to say this is their flagship mascot for the company, for Sticky Monster Labs. Wonder what the war is there. It's called SML Wars. I wonder what is he does he battle other alien creatures? Does he battle other astronauts or space soldiers in their own escape pods? You can see a little tab on there, button cell batteries on there. That's I'm not a big fan of the button cells, because in the end you're going to see how cool this spaceship lights up. And the fact that they resorted, or Blitzway resorted to button cell batteries, it's a little bit disappointing, because you want to keep this on. The way this thing powers up, the way it glows, it has that really cool designer look to it, which I wouldn't have been against keeping it fully lit on all the time if it was presented. The jetpack and the life support system, that's cool. You can see little dots, and I'm guessing that at this point it's magnetized, and I'm going to test it out here, and it pops, and there you go. And it's pretty sturdy. I gotta say, these aren't weak magnets, so they do stay on pretty sturdy. Nothing else happens with the jetpack other than the jet thrusters are posable. So that's how that would look like right there. It's heavy too. It's not a very lightweight figure at all too. So there is some quality to this figure that Blitzway did design, and because there's weight. There's some weight there. All right, and there's nothing else. There's the astronaut, there's the spaceship, and there's a few accessories on here. You have this little blaster ray gun there. I'm gonna assume this is a ray gun. Little red diode in the front. A kickstand on here. At this point, I don't know what this is for. And I wasn't sure what this marble was, but it turns out that this is a drone. A probe-style drone that the space soldier launches off to investigate hostile areas. Very cool. It has a spring mechanism to it. You twist it. It is circular. Rolls around. I thought that was clever. I thought that was kind of cool. And you twist it open. It pops open. And that stand you saw earlier is what you would use to prop it up. It's cool. It would have been extra cool though if its eyes lit up, but it's not a deal breaker. Did I mention that this little kit? It's not cheap. This was pretty pricey. I want to say $240 is what this retailed for, but it's sold out, and it's already going for a high price point on the secondary market. I want to say there's a few people in the U.S. that are probably selling it close to retail, but overseas you can expect to spend anywhere from $300 to $400 on this set. I have to be missing something. There's this. I know this is. I'm guessing this is a popular character in Korea, which is cool, which is fine. I mean, that's not why I'm intrigued with it. It's the amount of work and detail that Blitzway threw into this thing. It's mind-blowing. Little cartoon little hands on there, kept with pegs. Let's get those out of there. And the little retro style joysticks on there for the spaceship. And let's get this out of there. And the instructions are very easy to follow. Top dome pops open. Little astronaut man goes inside. The little jetpack goes in the back. It's very easy. I spent probably a few minutes reading it over. But it's the cockpit here. It's this the interior of this space drone style vessel that's it's mind-blowing. The amount of work and detail that they threw into this is just very, very cool. And little two red buttons in the front. One of them, the one on the right, does depress, and that's what actually powers the whole vehicle. There is no sound. At the end when I was uploading the vehicle, I'm like, man, the extra icing on the cake would have been some engine thruster type sounds to this. Would have been awesome. It's not a deal breaker, but it would have been extra. I mean, they added all this extra attention to detail with all these compartments on here, which double as an accessory holder, which is impressive. So you do have to, if you don't put the extra spare hands in the right sockets, it's not gonna. I learned the hard way that it's not gonna fit inside that chamber. So the pointy hand actually has a deeper well in the center, so I did have to remove that and adjust it accordingly to get the actual hands. I thought that was neat. How many vehicle or play sets present the opportunity to actually have a special compartment for the accessories. Very clever. Even the drone has its own compartment inside the little space vessel, which I didn't even notice the first time I looked at the ship. It wasn't until I read the instructions that I learned that the drone, once it's in closed form, actually goes in front. And there's even a little tiny peg which presses in right there, and it stays sturdy, and it goes in. I go, oh, that's badass. That's what makes this little spaceship drone fun to play with. and the stand even has its own spot in the back, right behind the cockpit's chair. Goes right there, and then right behind that is where you would put the life support system, which I'll show you in a second. And his little ray gun has its own compartment right there. It snaps into place. So even the ray gun has its own little compartment. Reminds me of the Apollo lander, the lunar lander, where it had compartments like this around the lunar lander. Like no space was not left unused on the Apollo lunar lander, and that's just what went through my head as I'm putting all these accessories around the actual vessel. The joysticks have its own spots, little slots on there, and the little jetpack life support goes right in the back. It's not sturdy though. You think they would have made that a little bit more sturdy to put some magnets on that life support. And I'm surprised that the little Eggman here, little space soldier, fits loose inside the cockpit. He kind of wobbles back and forth. I thought, if anything, he would have sat more. He would have gone a little bit deeper into the well, but he doesn't, which I thought was a little bit odd. Yeah, little space soldier boots on there. But if you take one of the joysticks out, the little and you fit it through his hands, you can actually get him to actually pretend to pilot his space vehicle. So I'll just put one, and I'll leave the other one where he's typing in some buttons or pushing in some levers or buttons and stuff. And then I couldn't figure out for the life of me how to turn this thing on, and it turns out that the gun socket right there actually has a plastic tab, and when you remove it is when power is restored, life support is restored to the space vehicle. Once everything is inside, a little space soldier is ready to go on an adventure. And I gotta say, this thing, the way it glows with all the control panels and dials, is just awesome. And I did decide to do some night shots on here just to kind of show you how cool it glows. Again, what a missed opportunity that they didn't include like a little USB plug on there, a little socket to just keep them powered on all the time. Because I just think it looks awesome the way it's lit up. And even the drone, little navigational computer on there. I'm gonna call this a navigational computer. Why not? Even the drone has its own little illuminated power source on there. Everything about this is just awesome. This is a cool toy. It really is. This is I gotta say, Blitzway went above and beyond designing this thing. Everything about it is it's fun. Yeah, I caught myself playing with this thing and just looking it around, just looking at all the control panels, and so you do have to be careful though. If the hands aren't retracted or in a certain position, you're not going to be able to close the little egg dome just right. So there is a little bit of trial and error to get the little astronaut man. There you go. Yeah, that's not going to work. I think I ended up taking him off, and then it's getting a little bit flush. It's like, can you please close? And then I forgot to turn him on, because you're supposed to keep him on. There he is right there. Yeah. His little astronaut suit gets powered up. Oh. Isn't this cool? This is just a really cool, pretty toy. Just a lot of attention and detail went into this thing. And yeah, even though it does have a high sticker price point on it, it is something that I just find so unique. And as much as I love collecting hot toys and 1/6 scale figures, every now and then something like this will just grab my attention. And look at that, even the top control panels on top of his little egg dome are illuminated. I mean, that's just, I find all that just extremely really cool. And just the way he's situated on there, and he's powered up. Actually, when he has his lights on, he kind of looks like a teddy bear, the way the actual light blows his face out. Oh, he's having engine trouble. Redirect all energy from life support. So I couldn't help myself. I wanted to see if the spaceship here, the space pod, could be used with other scale type figures, and I decided to grab the Black Series, a 6-inch C3PO that I had modded about a year or so ago, and reacts to the X Plus base. So as long as this figure is near a wireless energy source, his eyes will illuminate. And I just thought this looked really cool. I was like, I just wanted to share this whole scene with you. That it looks like it could work. And then I ended up adding another C3PO, where it's just a control ship powered by protocol droids. I just found this shot really cool. And then I looked around the room, like, I wonder what other, maybe if I can get a 1/6 scale figure to sit in it. And it just turned out that Yoda just looks awesome in this thing. This reminds me of the little escape pod that he used in Revenge of the Sith to escape from Cache. It just looks like a Yoda spaceship, doesn't it? He fits in just right. He's nice and snug. And then I'm like, you know what? If Yoda's gonna go jamming in this little pod, Grogu might as well join him as well too. And this just looked fun. I couldn't believe it. I mean, it looks like it would be a spaceship that would be flown by the species of Yoda. And then I added some extra little LED lights inside of it to just make it, you know, glow. And it looked really cool. So anyway, I had a lot of fun with this thing. This is really cool. I don't know if you'll be able to pick them up through Big Bad Toys or any other online retailers. You might have to resort to the secondary market if you want one. I love it. I'm probably going to keep Yoda in here and keep the little astronaut outside as the engineer, as the maintenance guy for now. But anyway, something different, something fun, something to play with. Like, subscribe, leave your comments below. Danoby2 out.